Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. I'm really happy that you are here and I'm grateful that our energies have crossed paths for this very first reading together. And before we begin, if you are new here and you enjoy love readings or relationship guidance, you can also check out my first channel, Between Realms Tarot, where I post love-focused pick a card readings and intuitive guidance for relationships and emotional connections. You can find the link in the description box below as well as in the bio of this channel. Now for today's reading, we are going to explore a simple but very powerful question. Why are you drawn to this specific reading and what energy is currently calling your attention? Sometimes we feel pulled towards certain messages, certain symbols, certain moments without fully understanding why, and usually there is something deeper beneath that pull. So in today's reading, we are going to uncover what energy is surrounding you, why you are resonating with it, how it is affecting your life, what it is trying to teach you, and what guidance or transformation may come from it. I will be using tarot, oracle cards, and intuitive messages through the reading. And if you ever resonate, please feel free to subscribe, press the like button, and comment down below. I'm very curious to see what you have to share. And if you'd like to book a private reading with me, please email me. You will find my email in the description box below. You can also DM me in my TikTok or Instagram account. Thank you so much for staying through this intro, and let's head to your pile selection. For today's reading, I have 3 piles for you, represented by 3 AI-generated oracle cards. And so for pile number 1, your oracle card is going to be the Moon. For pile number 2, your oracle card is going to be the Butterfly. And for pile number 3, your oracle card is going to be the River. Take a deep breath, exhale slowly, relax all of your muscles, and let go of all of your thoughts and your worries just for this moment so you can listen to your intuition. Choose the pile that draws you the most, and if you feel drawn to more than one pile, you can definitely choose more than one pile. This reading is timeless and it will resonate whenever you find it. You will find the timestamps in the description box below, and if you have picked your pile, let's start your reading. Hi, pile number 1. If you have picked the Moon, this is going to be a reading about why are you drawn to the energy of this specific reading. So let's start your reading. So pile number 1, no wonder you have chosen the Moon for this reading, because the theme here is very strong of uncertainty, transformation, shadow, not knowing what's going on currently, or not even knowing what's going to happen in the future. I feel like after I really took a closer look on the cards, there's a strong, very strong theme of transformation here. We have Pluto in the 8th house of in Taurus actually, and the 8th house is the original house of Scorpio. And Taurus is directly opposite to Scorpio on the zodiac wheel. Pluto also rules over Scorpio in the modern astrology systems. And so what I see here is that I feel like currently, and even in maybe, let's say, the medium term or the short to the medium term future, you're going through this transformation. And it's been going on for a while. I feel like it's been going on for a time, or for a while now, where you have been feeling as if nothing you have stood on before is like being held. It's almost like everything is shaken up. The foundation under you can no longer be trusted. I feel like you cannot trust your stability right now. I feel like it's very hard for you to build stability right now, and I feel like it is definitely related to material stability. I feel like there is also an issue when it comes to kind of cooperating or having a shared stability with somebody, and so, or maybe providing stability for another person, maybe a child, maybe a parent, maybe a family. Not necessarily, but the main thing is an issue with what is stable. Nothing is stable in my life. I cannot consider anything as safe. I cannot rely on any material thing that I have in my life currently. And I feel like maybe for some of you, you find yourself having to dip into your savings, having to constantly get like not be able to save money, or constantly use the money that is in your savings so that you can get in life. Maybe even you have invested your time and energy and money and things that you have worked before on something new that you're trying to cultivate. Or maybe again, you cannot even save money. I feel like it's very, very difficult for you to keep anything stable. And so it's almost like Pluto here is coming and restructuring what is considered safe. What are you, or what do you consider as attachment worthy? What do you consider as valuable in life? I feel like you have a lot of fear even these last few years or even months. It will resonate differently with every one of you. And so mainly I feel like there are a lot of fears here, fears of the future, fears about the now. How much do I have? Am I going to be able to afford living? And that is very unfortunate to be going through, and I'm really sorry that you are going through right now, pile number one. And so I feel like Pluto here and all of this unsafety and uncertainty is kind of changing your view. So it's happening for a reason. It's not happening there are things that you are meant to learn from this experience. One of them is that it's time for you to shed old attachments. Like, what have you considered in life as worthy, valuable, stable, as something that you can depend on, is in a way kind of losing its value to you. And this is how you know that you are kind of moving through this transformation. One of maybe the examples that we can use in this reading or for this energy is, for an example, you have always wanted, let's say, as an example, to have a car. And I'm not sure, it really depends on your country, your location, where do you live currently. That, like, a car would have a different importance and a different value for each and every location. And so, for example, a car was necessary for you, but then you find yourself maybe unable to pay for that car, unable to kind of sustain it, or it's breaking and you're unable to buy a new one at the current moment. Maybe in the future you'll be blessed enough to have it, but at the current moment it's been very hard to acquire or sustain a car, and it's been very maybe heavy because that is something that you have needed and wanted for or used for the largest part of your life. And so now that car or the whole situation is becoming heavy for you. And so maybe you're finding yourself thinking about this car situation and you're like, maybe I don't even need it anymore. If you have kids and you have to drive them to the school, for example, maybe you can trust the bus more, or maybe there's a neighbor who is offering help so that they can get your kids and their kids to the school. Maybe there's a brother or somebody who can help, and so you can let go of that. Or maybe you're like, my job location is not very far away and I can really use some walking. It can really help me be more fit, physically speaking and health-wise. And so you kind of find it a bit or you kind of find yourself losing attachment to some type of an idea or something that always represented value and stability for you. This is just a very small example. I mean, people are homeless now, and so this is just a small example for this energy. But this is how you would recognize that you are transforming or moving in this energy. And so it's kind of expanding your view over what is valuable in life, what is really considered as happiness or make you happy in life. Maybe, yes, so you have the fitness part, and then you have the relationships part where you have a good hearted neighbor, or a brother who's very helpful, or something like that. And so I feel like that is how your transformation is going so far. And so the more you move within it, the more you find that the material world might not be that sustainable at the moment, and you will find joy and stability in other things around you. Just as I said, relationships, family, friendships, your health, your mental and physical health. Yeah, that seems like a very, very deep lesson to be going through. And since Pluto is here, it also shows us that stability is not something static, it's something that changes with time, with development. It develops, it changes, it gains a new value. And so, yeah, you're shedding old attachments to what feels certain, what feels valuable, and that is just a small example. And so, when you look at the All Hallows or All Hallows Eve, and it says, "Call upon the voices that stir your senses through the night, cast an unforgiving howl as you stomp your might through the ground." And so it feels like there is something like be deeper beneath the surface that is happening in this energy with Pluto in Taurus in the 8th house. As you see, many of the spiritual teachers currently kind of using the same sentence, which is the veil is thinning. And literally, this is what this card talks about. And with Pluto in the 8th house in Taurus, I feel like maybe some of you would resonate with psychic activities, paranormal activities. Maybe there is a cohabiter at home. Maybe there is a ghost, maybe there is not. That would be something that you would know about. Pie number one, I wouldn't be telling you that there's a ghost in your house. I don't know that, and I wouldn't know. I wouldn't have a way to know. But this card talks about the veil being thinner. It's more about being kind of nudged or pushed towards connecting to things that are beyond the material. This card is kind of showing you that what's a deeper lesson to what's going or to what you are going through, pile number one, is connecting or kind of finding yourself connecting more to your spiritual self. Maybe finding yourself kind of being more interested in your spirituality, adopting spiritual practices, learning more about the unseen, going deeper beyond things, maybe even going into psychology. You find yourself kind of starting to drift your attention away from the material world because it doesn't represent that, like it's almost like it lost its shine because it keeps changing and it's unstable. And so you're looking beyond that, and this energy, even maybe you're not interested in it, maybe you can see it like opening in front of you. And so I feel like you have a lot of connection to the intuitive world rather than the material world currently. And so you're being called towards exploring that intuitive world within you, your own spiritual world, whatever that would be. Maybe it's magic, maybe it's tarot readings, maybe it's astrology, the occult in general. Maybe you're finding God, something or someone that you consider God. You find what God means to you. Maybe you're discovering your own power, and I feel like that is the most prominent thing here. It's all about your manifestation power and how do you bring what is desirable to your energy. How do you or like manifest, how do you use your inner authority? Kind of you're connecting to your willpower and your inner authority, and that is what this transformation or period is meant to direct you towards, is towards your inner world rather than the outer world that seems very, very unstable and shaky at the current moment here. And so the next card that we have here, we have contentment. And this is even deeper because it's almost like you're being like this card is answering my question of what this energy that you're going through is trying to communicate to you. And the contentment, as you see, I love this deck, is the Secret of the Wandwood Oracle. And I love the imagery on this deck. A subscriber, and yeah, she sent me, actually she sent me this deck, and it's a beautiful deck. So the contentment card here is kind of trying to communicate to you to find happiness during these moments that feel hard, that feel unstable and shaky and destabilizing to you. There might be a lot of confusion going on in your life, and maybe you find yourself kind of drawn towards the moments that make you feel happy, maybe connecting to your loved ones, maybe kind of just being in your creative practice. Maybe you're an artist, maybe you're not, maybe you're just a crafts person, maybe you are a DIY person. As you see, this woman, she's very happy using her key of happiness. Like the card says, this is the key of happiness here, and this creature here is knitting and using the key of happiness just as a way to kind of like hang her thread so that she does not lose it. And so it's very interesting that she's using the key of happiness in this small practice here, that seems small to us, but she's knitting, and knitting is her favorite activity, and that is what brings her happiness. And so the key here is to happiness is contentment. That is what the card says. And so find something that you feel content with. Find contentment within this energy that you are going through. It's not something in the future, and it's not something material. Maybe it is. It's not something conditional. Contentment is something to be found within in every moment. But it might be within unstable times even, and it would still bring contentment. And contentment is the key to happiness. So it's almost like this energy is trying to communicate to you that you are okay, and that you will find contentment within this time. It might take a long time, it might be almost over and done with, and I feel like you're already pile number one. I don't feel like you're sinking in sadness, or you're not lost in this feeling. I feel like you do find a lot of things that make you happy. You do find activities or connections, or I feel like you even have support from others, and that is very very fortunate here. This card is trying to communicate to you that you can find contentment within these times, and that you are safe and cared for, even if you don't know it, or even if you don't notice it. But I feel like you do, pile number one. I feel like you already have the bandwidth to see where you can find contentment and happiness these few at these hard times, really. When I look at the tarot, so with the Queen of Wands, why are you drawn to this energy, pile number one? And you're specifically, or you have chosen or picked this pile, I feel like you're not afraid of, it's almost like there is an inner resistance to fear inside of you. These times are making you feel almost angry, fiery, and kind of defensive, but not in a negative way. It's almost like it's lighting up your fighting spirit. I feel like these times are very scary to you, or they make you feel insecure because you cannot depend on anything. But the Queen of Wands here is telling us that you're drawn to this specific energy, or to this specific pile, because there is a fighting spirit within you that is not crippled by fear, that is not paralyzed by fear or scarcity. There is an inner fire here that is inside you, that is meant to defend your own contentment and happiness, that is meant to fight for you. You're fighting for yourself and for your loved ones, and you're not very crippled by this anxiety or fear here. You have confidence, you have the I feel like you have the confidence in yourself that you will get through this, even though it is scary. There is a version of you that is being called towards this reading so that it be recognized. And this version is the fighter, the one that knows its own power and is going to use it to defend or to seek contentment and happiness despite the difficulty. And so your inner fire and confidence is the one that kind of draw you to this energy here. It's very exciting. The Fool here is that how is this energy affecting you? And the Fool is the unknown territory type of adventure. And so this energy here of being in or not knowing what the future hides for you, or not knowing where to put your feet, or where to step next, it's all an energy of an adventure or starting an adventure that you don't know anything about. You're, again, that's why I had the message at the beginning of the reading of you may be stepping into a project or a business idea, or maybe a chapter in your life where, again, maybe you're using your savings, maybe you're using a lot of your time and energy without knowing if anything will turn out good for you. That is something that can resonate for some of you. And so not knowing is one of the things that are affecting you. It feels like you're risking a lot. Not knowing if you're ever going to be safe or successful is something that is making you feel like you have no guarantee. Then the next card that we have, guess what? It's the Ten of Cups, and this does represent the lesson here. And interestingly, pile number 1, your lesson is happiness. I feel like, again, there is a support system that you are meant to work with, people that care about you, genuinely care about you, and you care about too. And the lesson here is for you to find almost like the ultimate contentment, because the Ten of Cups, it is the ultimate contentment that we don't only find in our material stability or financial success, but we also find in other structures such as family, if that is something that you care about, friendships, maybe relationships, things like that, but also things that bring you contentment. Again, maybe your creative practice, maybe your reading practice, maybe just your fitness journey. You know, it's all about the journey that you can find contentment in. And I emphasize on contentment because that is the main lesson here, because happiness, I'm not sure if you have heard about this before, but some people are happy, but they're not content, they're not satisfied. And so the key here for you, or the lesson here, is for you to find satisfaction, to find contentment, to find where can you actually be happy, actually be satisfied, be peaceful, where you find yourself. Like it's definitely something that you find within yourself. As you say, there's a golden fish here under. It does look a bit artificial, or kind of like a craft of something of some type. It's golden, and this person is holding like golden cups. Everything is golden, and so it's an ultimate type of happiness here. Where can you find that? And this person is sitting on the fish, and is like they're squatting. It's not a squat, it's more than that. And this is a place where this person, they feel safe here on this golden fish. It might be, you know, fish are they do represent Pisces zodiac sign. And so Pisces is where we let go of, you know, Pisces is an accumulation of everything in life, of all, or every significance of each zodiac sign. The accumulation of all of that is Pisces, and then the liberation from all of that is Pisces. And so this is a lesson for you. Where can you find happiness beyond what you have considered as stable, as yeah, as fulfilling, financially speaking, maybe career goals. And so you're called, and this is your lesson, to find happiness outside of all of that. The Nine of Cups here shows me the positive aspect, and I feel like the positive aspect is that you're already finding it, you're already in a way collecting, and I'm drawn to the birds here. But I feel like maybe you're kind of, you already found a way to survive, not only survive, actually to thrive in this phase. Maybe you are of service to others. Maybe giving to others brings you satisfaction. Maybe nurturing others brings you satisfaction, or it's something that brings you fulfillment here. I feel like, again, you are very proud even of people that you care about, or something specific that you care about, that is bringing you a lot of satisfaction. And so that is the positive aspect, is that there are already to look up, things to look up for in this situation or phase that you are in right now. But the shadow aspect here, interestingly, we have the Empress, which is most. Okay, so while editing this reading, I realized that I accidentally said the Empress for the shadow aspect, but the card was actually Justice. And honestly, the more I looked at the spread, the more Justice made perfect sense here. So the shadow energy for this pile is actually connected to more of self-judgment, overthinking, maybe fear of making the wrong decision, or trying to mentally control situations before feeling safe enough to trust the process. Especially with Pluto in the 8th house in Taurus, this can be someone who is, in this case, you, who feels afraid of instability or afraid of losing control. So they may overanalyze everything or put pressure on themselves to always make the right choice. Justice here feels like a reminder that not everything can be solved logically right now. Some things are always or better off felt through and trusted rather than perfectly calculated. And interestingly, that flows even more naturally into the Hanged Man as the final outcome, because the Hanged Man is asking for surrender, perspective, perspective shifts actually, and releasing the need to force clarity before moving forward. So I really apologize for this mistake. I don't know how did I read it into the Empress. I actually, yeah, basically the imagery definitely shows this abundant feminine energy that does look like the Empress, but the Empress card is not this one. So in this deck, that is the Justice. As you see, the woman is holding a scale in her hand and a sword. So I should have been more careful about that, and so I really apologize. The treasure here, or the outcome here, is the Hanged Man. And the Hanged Man is a huge spiritual lesson, and behind the Hanged Man there is a moon. And I feel like, yeah, this is the card that you have picked here, and the lesson here is to surrender, to let go, to kind of let, I'm getting specifically let, I feel like maybe somebody or something that is unseen is trying to help you. Unseen powers are trying to help you, not to confuse them with things that we do not understand. It's almost like, I don't, yeah, I don't want you to lose complete control over your energy, and but it's almost like there is something that is helping you out, or it's almost like you're being kind of lifted and moved. And it's the trust in that process. And to be honest, use that intuition. Number one, use your intuition. If this is what you feel, if you feel like the things that you're trying to control, the plans that you're putting are not working, they're not moving, but everything is moving, and you feel like you don't have any control over how things are unfolding, it is true. Actually, that is what's actually happening. The key is in letting it happen with being aware of it. Yeah, so that's the key, because you're meant to, not meant, but you are called to surrender and to see things unfolding rather than controlling them, because I do see a lot of positive things coming towards you even. And so not forcing outcomes and letting your perspective shift, letting the things happen without trying to direct them, because you do recognize that your plans are not working, that would be the best course of action, to just find contentment, find what makes you happy. At the same time, let things unfold, because you're being kind of protected, and you're being you're being protected, you're being granted happiness, but it is also dependent on if you can see it, if you can find it. And so you don't resolve this situation by controlling it, you resolve it by, when you find that there's something that you cannot control, that you cannot really direct or plan for, and you find that it's unfolding according to its own way, the best course of action is to just let it be. And that's because I don't advocate for letting everything just be. I advocate for a balanced approach, controlling things that you find that you can control, and letting things that are very resistant to your efforts unfold the way they should be, or they seem to be unfolding. So pile number 1, this was your reading. I really loved this reading for you because I saw that you have a lot to be happy with, and if not yet, I really hope that you find it. I really hope that you look or kind of find or allow the things that make you content, or that makes you content, come towards you, because it really is coming. So yeah, this was all I have for you. If it resonated, please subscribe so you won't miss any future readings. Comment down below and press the like button. And you can also check my Between Realms Tarot channel. It's a love readings channel. There are a lot of readings there. You can check them out. Thank you so much for being here. And if you'd like to book a private reading with me, you will find my email in the description box below. And my Instagram and TikTok, you can DM me there too. Email me or DM me for extra information about private readings, or if you want to book one. And if you'd like, so that's all I have for you guys. Thank you so much for being here, and see you next time. Hi, pile number 2. If you have picked the butterfly, this is going to be a reading about why are you drawn to this specific energy in this reading. So let's start. Starting with the dices, we're going to look into this energy. What's going on in pile number 2's life that needs attention right now, and that is drawing them to this reading. Okay. Yeah, okay, now okay. So why are you drawn to this energy? We have the 7 of Swords. Okay. The Temperance. The 3 of Wands. The Queen of Pentacles. And the Knight of... the Page of Swords, actually. This one is the Page of Swords. Okay. So pile number 2, Starting here with Saturn in the seventh house in Scorpio, I feel like you are drawn to this specific reading because there is a pattern of uncertainty that is going on in your life. I feel like there is maybe somebody specific that you do not trust, or I feel like you have a reoccurring pattern of trust issues in relationships in general. Maybe there is one relationship, or I feel like a history of relationships, or a specific pattern of trust issues in relationships in general. Because Saturn in the seventh house, it does talk about restrictions in relationships, lessons, karmic lessons in relationships with Saturn in the seventh house. It does talk about heaviness. And it is the Scorpio zodiac sign that we have here. And so there is intensity. Saturn in Scorpio is not very comfortable. Saturn in Scorpio brings lessons of betrayal, and it does result in trust issues, but it also brings lessons of fear of betrayal, but also emotional vulnerability. And so there are, I feel like, either many lessons that you're going through or you have already went through, and it caused you a bit of trauma maybe. Also, there might have been secrecy in your relationships, or lack of trust, even distance also. And so it might have caused a lot of trauma again, or a lot of pain, and so resulting in trust issues. And so it feels like the main energy here is secrecy when it comes, or trust issues, or fear of deception when it comes to connections. I feel like that might be the main energy that draws you here. And especially with the Seven of Swords card that we have here in our spread, the first card here, this is fascinating because a lot of cards here talk about this specific theme that is drawing you to this reading, which is maybe you are drawn to this reading because you suspect something. Maybe you suspect that somebody is not truthful. Maybe that somebody or a lot of people are not as honest as they seem to be. They might feel, you might feel like, I feel maybe uncertain, and you might sense that there are things that you don't know about that are hidden from you. And so you yourself might be avoiding trusting others, and so avoiding revealing information to others, and being more hidden, being more secretive, because there is a form of self-protection from the seed that you're trying to plant here. And so you might be very guarded against deception, and like you suspect something, and so that's why you're drawn to this reading. And with the oracle card that I have here, which is the veil, this card from the Seasons of the Witch Samhain Oracle, let me tell you what it says. It says, it's quite positive, not positive, it's quite possible your eyes have become the fog in which you dwell, a half-swallowed glimpse of all that you truly are or can be, that the tears you bleed are ready for the storms to turn the skies inward. And so this specific card really resonates with the whole message. It talks about secretive situations or hidden things. But this card specifically is kind of talking to us here about. And so it is answering my question of what is a truth that is to be revealed in this energy that pile number 2 is drawn to. And the card literally talks about truths that are going to be revealed, or secrets that are going to be uncovered. And so I feel like either you already know what you are uncertain about. I feel like you already have the information within you, and so you're being called towards saying the truth because it's in front of you. You might be already feeling something, and you know that something, or maybe you have a sense of what is going on. I don't read this as I feel like it might be related to having healthier boundaries here. It might be related to that specific thing. I feel like your intuition is definitely heightening, and the truth is something that is somehow coming towards you. And I feel like you would know this already. I feel like you feel something in your guts, pile number two. You feel that there is something beneath the surface and you might already know what it is. And so it's almost like it's going to be revealed through your own kind of, through you admitting that you already know what's going on. And so maybe you already know what's going on deep down, but you did not admit it to yourself fully. This would be something different, and it would resonate for each and every one of you differently. And so I wouldn't like to enforce the story of betrayal, or of somebody being deceptive, because I don't know about that. But you know, pile number two, I feel like you know what's going on, and it might not be about betrayal, it might be about your own fear, or it might be so that is something that you would know. It's not me. You have to consult your own intuition. So Apollo is having a full-on conversation with us today. He's very curious about the cards now. He's like jumping, bobbing his head, singing and talking and chatting and chirping, and I love his chirps. So yeah, as I was, he did not have this strong presence in pile number one, so he's very hyper. Anyways, so let's come back to our reading. As I was saying, I wouldn't know the whole spectrum or the full spectrum of what's going on in your story in pile number two, but it's almost like there is maybe there is something that you are uncertain about. You might be deceiving yourself even out of the truth, or it might be just that somebody has unclear intentions, and so it might seem like they are being deceived, like deceptive, but they're not, or somebody actually they do have hidden motives. I feel like, again, there is a boundary or something that is, or of a wall that is keeping things very, very uncertain in your mind between you and another person, or it's a pattern of trust issues in relationships. And so if that is really what's happening, like something hidden, you would actually know, because it's being kind of revealed to you bit by bit through your own intuition. And so the more you listen to your intuition, the more you receive, the more you get information about what's really going on. Because it seems like definitely the truth is coming towards you, whether through an external form or through an internal form, which is your intuition. I would like to say that definitely something is being revealed here when it comes to your connections, or something that you are specifically uncertain about. And when I look at the next card here, we have the card balance, and this is what this energy is trying to communicate to you. And interestingly, it's on top, or literally, like, yeah, on top of the card that we have as a lesson, which is the Temperance. And so I feel like you're very, very uncomfortable with the unknown, pile number two. You're very kind of cautious, and maybe even obsessive about knowing the truth. And maybe there is this tendency of seeing things as black or white, and being uncomfortable with somebody's boundary or somebody's hidden intention. And I don't see that as necessarily bad, but it might be kind of keeping you on guard, keeping you anxious. And so it's almost like the balance card here is trying to communicate to you to literally seek balance, to not fear when things are dark, to not fear the night here. And it's almost like there is a lot of there's a lot that you feel is in the dark, a lot is hidden, it's almost like a night time for a specific connection or for your relationships in general. I mean, the chirps are very loud here for me to even hear myself. I hope you can hear me, everyone. Like, huh. He only speaks when I'm speaking. So, I really hope you can hear me, pile number 2. There's a lot of chatter here. It's very loud here. And so, as I was saying, if there is a lot of darkness and a lot of uncertainty, this card is trying to communicate to you that being comfortable within the darkness and within the uncertainty is part of the whole journey. Not everything is meant to be daylight. Not everything is meant to be clear. And shadow and clarity both have purpose. There wouldn't be a clarity without a shadow, and there wouldn't be a shadow without clarity. And so this card again beautifully aligns with the temperance card that we have here. And so you're not meant to stay in emotional extremes forever. It's almost like you're not meant to be in this darkness, in this uncertainty or fear and deception forever. It is just a phase here, and maybe seeking or kind of regulating your emotions and seeking the light within the darkness is one of the lessons here. I feel like it's trying to communicate to you that the night is not like, it is scary, but it's not dangerous. It's just the contrast that's going to let us see the truth here. And so this darkness or uncertainty, it has its own purpose and it's meant to be appreciated. And so also you would be more able to listen to your intuition in the dark rather than the light. And not fearing the darkness, not fearing the uncertainty is the key here, because the more you are scared of this uncertainty, the more it creates anxiety and emotional extremes within you, and it becomes very hard to really live in peace. I feel like the best course of action with this card here that we have from the Alphonse Maria Mucha Oracle, this card literally says, receive wisdom. And so I feel like, as we see in this card, we have the zodiac wheel behind this person, as you see. And this person might be an astrologer. And it's almost like this circle is behind their head for a reason. This person, they're receiving wisdom. This card's title is literally receive wisdom. And so it's almost like telling you that the best course of action in your situation is to observe, is to notice the things that would give you information, to observe, because you would find information in bits of details around you, to listen, to pay attention to synchronicities and signs, to trust in your own discernment and inner intuition, and to allow insight and truth to unfold naturally, because it's definitely coming towards you. So the best course of action is to observe it coming towards you and listen to it, because that's the best way for you to get information, instead of kind of really sinking into the uncertainty and feeling uncomfortable about it all the time. And so it's almost like a period of major intuitive awakening and clarity that is coming towards you, and you're being called towards listening to your inner discernment and intuition. There's also another maybe advice here, because maybe astrology could help. Maybe seeking a good astrologer for spiritual insight. Somebody who would give a balanced insight is also a good opportunity for getting true information. But um, a condition would be to not over obsess and to not over attach ourselves to this information here, and to still seek information only from our inner discernment and intuition. So it seems to be the best course of action here, because information is coming to you and you're being asked to receive it and to open your door to it, rather than kind of maybe sink into uncertainty and fear because of that uncertainty. Next here, let's see the card that we have next, which is the Queen of Wands. This card here, the Queen of Wands, is how this energy is affecting you, pile number 2. And it seems to be pushing you towards kind of acquiring your power back or getting your power back. It's pushing you towards kind of trusting in your light again. I feel like it's encouraging you to be more magnetic, to reach out for your confidence again, to empower yourself again, because the Queen of Wands has this insight that no other queen has. I mean, each and every queen has her own insight. But the Queen of Wands' insight is this deep awareness and trust in her own power. The Queen of Wands trusts in her own insights, trusts in her decisions. She's independent and she's self-empowered. And it's almost like this energy that is kind of being very prominent in your life is calling you to reclaim your identity and to not stay confused again. It's calling you to reclaim your power. I'm very drawn towards this rainbow symbol here. It's very interesting. It's very interesting. I was going to talk about the fire of the Queen of Wands, but I was drawn to more of the rainbow. I love this card and the symbolism of the rainbow here. I have just checked the rainbow symbol in this card, and it's all about the centaur woman here who is making a rainbow come out of the fire, and it is a magical practice with the centaur's wand here. And this actually talks about the creative power of the Queen of Wands. And so I feel like maybe this whole energy is helping you kind of claim in your creative powers, helping you create no, it's more like hone in your creative and your spiritual powers, hone in your intuition and trust in it, because it's very significant. But it's also about claiming your power, because there is power in having skill here. The next card that I have, I talked about, which is the Temperance, and this is the lesson out of this energy here. And so it's almost like this card is, in a way, talking to us, as I said before, about being comfortable with the extremes, but not staying a lot in them because they cause anxiety, but maybe kind of trying to understand the value of the darkness and the clarity, the uncertainty and the clarity, and then trying to find the best place in the middle where there is more kind of, let's say, rest, there is more balance here, because the lesson and the thing that is trying to be communicated to you is the Temperance. Again, I feel like there is a skill. 100% there is a skill that you are learning. It might be discernment. You might be kind of honing your discernment, your inner voice, your intuition here. And so if you use also that intuition and that inner voice, you're able to create the balance within you and outside of you. And so it's very interesting that we have this card as a lesson here. The next card that we have, which is a positive aspect, is the Three of Wands. And this Three of Wands specifically talks about a mutual connection where there is symbiosis, or a symbiotic connection between two individuals. The dragon depends on the person here, and the warrior, who's the person, the warrior is dependent also on the dragon, and they keep the torches lit. And so the warrior lights the torch and with the dragon's fire, and he maintains the two others lit behind him by the fire also of the dragon. And so they kind of cooperate to kind of keep the three wands lit. And so I feel like a positive aspect is that, in a way, I feel like you are in this energy, kind of understanding how to be in a connection that contributes to you, how to be in a connection that helps you, just as you help the other person, how to be in symbiotic connections again, how to be in a connection that does not take much from you and does not hide things from you, but a connection where there is an equal give and take, and a working or a cooperation towards a specific goal in the future. And then when we look at the Queen of Pentacles here as the negative or the shadow aspect, it's a very interesting shadow. I feel a shadow here would be, I feel like you want to assure security in your love life, especially with the presence of Saturn here. You want to ensure that everything is secure, and so the risk of feeling betrayed is very strong here. There is a pattern of you being wounded by betrayal, and kind of maybe your biggest turn off is lying or dishonesty, because I feel like you prioritize security, and maybe you become too self-sacrificing for the unity in a connection. And I feel like dishonesty or secrets make you very sad or anxious, because maybe you're an open book. And so when you're an open book and you want to nurture connections and relationships, if there is maybe if there is dishonesty, you might kind of neglect yourself. If you still, in a way, it's almost like you're trying to maybe still nurture and appear emotionally stable while being very overwhelmed with the secrecy or with your own suspicions. And so you might, in a way, still carry the commitment energy, still carry still carry commitment, even though the other person is not very honest with you, they're not very open with you. You would still be open because you would rather keep the peace, or you would rather keep the unity. There is a nurturing aspect of you that is maybe being overused or overextended, despite you feeling turned off. I feel like you seek security, and there's nothing wrong with that, but it might be, you might be overly kind of trying to nurture others, even if they are not as open with you as you are with them. The treasure here, or the final treasure and the final outcome here, we have the Page of Swords. And the Page of Swords is somebody who reveals secrets, somebody who has a sharper, or kind of cultivates a sharper understanding and discernment, and somebody who seeks the truth. And I feel like ultimately, after the fog lifts, you are going to be required to have a new understanding, because you will perceive a truth. And it does not have to be a betrayal from somebody else, but it might be you deceiving yourself and giving extra, or it will differ for each and every one of you. But at the end, the treasure here is your discernment, is what you perceive, is the new information that is going to give you more certainty here. So this is a very complex reading, and I feel like it will be different for each and every one of you. So I really hope it resonated for you, pile number 2. If it did, please press the like button, comment down below, and subscribe so you won't miss any future readings. And if you'd like to book a private reading with me, you will find my email in the description box below. You can also DM me my TikTok or Instagram account. And also, if you want to look into love readings, you can check my other channel, Between Realms Tarot. You will find the link in the description box below for that channel or in the bio. And so thank you so much for being here, pile number 2, and see you next time. Hi, pile number 3. If you have picked the river, this is going to be a reading about why are you drawn to this specific energy. So let's start your reading. So pile number 3, I feel like there is an expansion that is trying to happen in your life's direction, and that is being halted by some imbalances in your life. And so, like, when I draw literally the second card, the broom, the change, look at these two cards. Like, just look, we have such a synchronicity. So these are two different decks. The first one says broom. What dreams may come from what you seek? Make room, make way, a clearing need be. Okay, need be. So, but the second card that we have is from a different deck, and it also shows a witch with a broom, but it's on the broom, while the first card, it shows a witch holding the broom. And so I'm going to get there in a second, but I need to deliver the first message. So it's very, very prominent, and I love when this happens in readings. It happens a lot. And so as I was saying, I feel like a big expansion, a movement, and I feel like you might be in your late 30s, or most of you guys may be in your late 30s, or on the verge of a huge expansion in your life's direction. And I'm saying that because of the presence of Jupiter in the 10th house in Libra here. This Jupiterian energy, it shows a movement towards more prosperity, but it's not just prosperity, it's more of like an expansion of your image in life, an expansion of your purpose in life. I feel like a huge growth is happening in your life's direction, in your career, in your purpose, but it is in Libra, and I feel like nobody likes Jupiter being in Libra, because it does show when there might be imbalances in our connections, but also in our lives. Maybe you have an expansion that you're expecting in a partnership. I feel like there might be a partnership in your work or something like that. For some of you, that might resonate. If not, totally fine. But Jupiter here in Libra shows, I feel I'm getting specifically certain things holding you down, kind of holding you back and bringing you down, and not being able. It's almost like your progress is very slow, or like the expansion is happening but it's very slow, and I feel like it's mainly because of a lot of dynamics, connections, or maybe things that are taking your energy and slowing you down. I feel like you might be kind of maybe putting your energy in many places at the same time, maybe nurturing many people, nurturing many connections, maybe friendships, or maybe things all the time, and so it keeps you a bit behind, or a bit slowed down. It's almost like your expansion and your movement and your prosperity is a bit slowed down because of a lot of things taken away from your energy here. And when I look at the broom card here that we talked about, this one card talks about the necessity for cleaning energy, the necessity of starting to kind of not discard, but almost like things that you would like to keep. I feel like there are things, or you would like to speed up the progress, you would like to speed up your breakthrough in life, but what's going on is that you are understanding, or maybe what's being revealed to you is that you need to let go of a lot of things that are taking away your energy and your time and taking away from your progress, so that your progress can happen. This card specifically talks about the clearing that is needed for new things to come into your life here. And the next card that I have, which is the change, this card is amazing, and it has a similar meaning, but it does talk about what is needed, or what is being communicated to you through this energy. And what is being communicated to you through this energy is the necessity for you to take charge, the necessity for you to make decision to actually clear out things that are revealed to you as things that hold you back and drag you down instead of kind of fuel your progress. And so it's very interesting that we have the broom, and it's almost like this witch is looking at me directly in the eye, trying to tell me that this is your call. This card specifically talks about what you can do to have this positive change, what you can change to actually receive your blessings here. So it's very interesting. Like the first card answering my question of what truth is being revealed. So what truth is being revealed is that a clearing is needed right now. You are being called towards clearing your life and clearing your energies and sweeping the dust away so that you can attract new things and positive things. But next card is answering my question of what is being communicated through this energy is that you do need to take initiative and understand that some things do not belong in your life anymore, that some things already ended and you are still holding back or holding onto them. Maybe you have an issue of hoarding, and so maybe this is literally asking you to clean up your space, to clean up old things that you no longer need, maybe to clean up things that you have hoarded for a long time thinking that you might need them, and then maybe there have been 10 years and you did not use anything of them. And so it's like this energy here, you're drawn to this reading because there is something that is trying to have a breakthrough in your life, but it's being slowed down. And it's happening because you're holding on to things that have ended or things that are holding you back in life, maybe even people. The best course of action for you here is this card. It's the card number 32. And this card specifically talks about releasing. It says, let me tell you what it says. The affirmation that this card says is literally, I am ready to let go and move forward on my path. And so it's very interesting that this is the best course of action for you because there is an acceptance that you need to have here. And I'm going to show you the card so that you can understand. I am going to cover the chest part because it's nudity and it's not accepted on YouTube, unfortunately. The card is beautiful, but this part might be flagging the video and so limiting its access to people, and I feel like this reading is very important for a lot of people. So as you see, this is a giant woman that is looking at casualties here, people who died, things that are lost, and unfortunately she's grieving here. And so she's looking at them with a feeling of grieving, of a feeling of loss. And so it's almost like this card talks about the fact that these things can no longer be revived, can no longer exist. They don't exist anymore. These people are unfortunately not there, or not being, they're not there. And there needs to be an acceptance. And just to clarify, this maybe should not be deaths, so I'm not talking specifically about deaths, or if you have lost somebody transitioned or passed away, I am really sorry that happened. It must have caused you a lot of pain. I feel like maybe there are some emotions that are connected to a loss of somebody who is dear to your life, and so grieving is very important for you to move forward. But if there are other things, or kind of like separations from people, from friendships or relationships, or things like past career path, it's time for you to accept the ending as already happened and understand that that thing can no longer exist or be in your life, and that it's time to move forward, because that is the only way to kind of accept the new things that are coming towards you. Now, when we look at the first tarot card that we have the Knight of Pentacles, answering our question of why are you drawn to this reading specifically. And what we have is that you are in a way stuck. You feel stuck in life. I feel like you feel behind. You feel like you're dragging yourself in something or in your life. You feel like you have to do a lot, and you have to move with a lot of discipline, and you have to kind of move slowly, and things are not maybe moving as fast as you think they should be moving. And I kind of agree that things maybe should move faster for you, but they are a bit more halted. And so that may be the reason, or that is the reason why you are drawn to this reading, is because you feel like your progress is slowed down, and maybe not necessarily righteously. So it's not, you feel like things should move faster, but they're not, or things are requiring more effort. And I feel like maybe other people or other things, situations in your life, maybe your career currently is requiring a lot of effort to actually just move a bit, and it feels unfair to you. The Seven of Pentacles, it feels like this energy is affecting you, and it's kind of causing you to doubt yourself, or doubt the outcome, and doubt your path. Like, are things going to move? Are things actually worth it? And is your effort actually going to contribute into a good outcome? And so it's causing you to doubt, it's causing you to reflect, to think, to reevaluate, to kind of all the time pause and think again, what if that, what if this? And so you're assessing, you're waiting, you're questioning. This is how this energy is affecting you here. The next card I have is just the Justice, and the Justice card here, this is the lesson. And it's very important because, again, things feel unfair. I feel like you feel like something is, maybe you put in this amount of effort, and you're supposed to get like a 50% of outcome, and instead you only get 10. And so that makes you feel like something is wrong here. And so it also, we have Libra. I'm getting a storyline, maybe work for some of you, but maybe you have been working in a company for maybe 10 years and trying to kind of like, you're working hard, you're contributing and stuff like that, but you're not getting what you deserve, and you're not getting the promotion, you're not getting the position that you hope for and that you deserve, and you think that it's not fair. And definitely it is not, if that is what's going on, it's not fair. And so the lesson here is to bring justice to yourself, is to understand, where are you being taken advantage of? Where are you being, where is your justice not being, not being justified? Not where is your right, where is your energy being taken advantage from or of? Actions have consequences, And why did I say that? It's very interesting that I say that. So it's almost like the lesson for you is that almost like the universe is not personal, or what is happening to you is not personal. You understand that there are things that are holding you back, and it's mainly because you are keeping them in your life. And so the main thing that you can understand from this is that if you let the things that are holding you back from moving go, you will receive justice, and because you deserve it. And this is how to get your own justice. And you cannot avoid you cannot avoid the hard conversation. You cannot avoid that. You need to be truthful to yourself, otherwise you won't move. So I feel like you understand now, or through this situation and this energy, you understand the scales of justice and how they work for you and for other people and situations. But the positive aspect, though, with the Four of Pentacles is that I feel like you already have a lot to hold on to. I feel like you already know what are the things that are worth keeping. I feel like a positive thing that is already happening through this energy is you knowing what to hold on to, and is you kind of knowing what is the dearest thing to you that is not going to hold you back from moving forward. It's also, I feel like other people who are kind of being, or other situations who are in your favor are also holding on to you. And I feel like there are things that would contribute to your path that you can hold on to. And so you're very grounded, you're very self-preserved, and you're very protected. Even by yourself, you're very protected. I feel like you have a strong foundation. And so that is the positive aspect. But the negative one here with the world, I feel like you're very afraid of letting those things go. I feel like you're afraid of closing up cycles with those things that have already ran their course here. This is fascinating as a shadow because it shows that there are endings that need to take place but maybe are being held back. You are resisting those endings, or you are reluctant to end a lot of chapters to move forward. There may be also fear of success. Fear, I feel like a lot of light is going to be put on you. A lot of focus, a lot of success is headed your way, a lot of achievement, and I feel like you might be afraid of that. And so, you know, the world here is a completion. So the shadow is that you know that something is over, or you know that something is need to end, but you might be struggling to fully release them. The last card that we have is the King of Cups, and this is your treasure out of this energy. This is what the treasure, and this is the outcome. And I feel like this is a reassurance of the fact that you'll be fine. You'll be totally fine. There is a maturity here with the King of Cups here. There are lessons integrated almost, and I feel like I'm very drawn to the wings here. Very interesting. This King of Cups imagery is very interesting. There are like winged people all over the card, and so it's almost like there is wisdom that is waiting for you. There's a lot to be kind of grateful for. Literally, there are a lot of things that are very secure, and they are very secure attachments in your life. There are strong secure attachments in your life, pile number 3. And so the ending here and the outcome is a lot of balance and kind of being more kind of secure and grounded in what you already have, despite ending other things that are full of wisdom, full of balanced emotions, relationships, or things, as you said, that are things that are of maturity, that are things that would last. I feel like the outcome, the treasure here is that despite all of the clearing that is going to happen in your life and that you should take initiative in, despite all of that, there are things that will stay in your life that are worth the investment and the attachment. So this is a very evolved ending, to be honest. So pile number 3, this was your reading. I truly hope it resonated for you. If it did, please subscribe, press a like button, and comment down below. And if you are interested in a private reading with me, you can email me. You will find my email in the description box below. You can also DM me my Instagram or TikTok account. And if you would like to, if you are looking for love readings, you will find the link to my second channel, Between Realms Tarot. It's actually the first channel. There are a lot of love readings on that channel. You can definitely go there and see if there is a reading that would resonate for you. Thank you so much for being here, pile number 3, and see you next time.